The door is cerulean, bright and vibrant, but to me it's the color of my sudden uneasiness. It stands out against the muted, faded tones of the library, like it doesn't belong here, like I don't belong here. The feeling creeps up slowly, wrapping itself around my chest, tightening. If the door were a mirror, and how I wish it were as innocent as that, I'd see my reflection, and it would tell me to run. I'm not sure what's more unsettling, the door itself, this odd contrast to the rest of the library, or the fact that I don't remember how we got here. The path we took, the turns, they're all a blur now. Was I even paying attention? Or maybe it's him. The way his grip on my waist has shifted. It's no longer gentle, but possessive. His voice, once light and teasing, now carries something heavier, something darker. The air between us thickens. And I wonder, did I make a mistake? It's too late to retreat. Even if I could find the courage to run, to follow the voice in my head screaming at me to get out, I can't move. There's still a part of me, small, curious, reckless, that wants to know. Isn't dating a professor supposed to feel dangerous? That's how it felt just moments ago, when we were hidden away among the bookshelves downstairs, his hands pulling me close, his lips tracing the curve of my neck. I thought to myself, is there anything more thrilling than this? When he whispered in my ear that he had a secret to show me, I followed him, eager, up the stairs. My heart raced, adrenaline coursed through me. It felt exciting, rebellious. I wanted that. I wanted the thrill of something dangerous. Before tonight, it had been just playful flirting in the lecture hall. Lingering glances, conversations that stretched the boundaries between professor and student. We talked about meaningless things, the weather, books, restaurants. But underneath, there was always something more. An unspoken tension, a challenge. Then he crossed the line. Or maybe I did. Neither of us stopped when our hands brushed in the empty classroom, or when his touch lingered a little too long. I didn't walk away when his voice dropped to a whisper, inviting me to meet him later. "Let me take you to the library tonight," he had said. His voice low, eyes burning with something I couldn't resist. "I can get us in after it's closed." I could have said no, but I didn't. I wanted to feel wanted, to feel powerful. "What time?" I had asked, breathless. Hours later, under the flickering orange glow of a street lamp, I watched him unlock the library doors. His fingers moved confidently, like he'd done this before. I followed him inside, the heavy doors closing behind us. The scent of old books surrounded us. Musty, familiar. I read once that the smell of old paper is a chemical reaction, organic matter breaking down over time. But tonight it smelled different. The air felt charged. "All these stories," he whispered, his fingers trailing along the spines of the books. "All these lives waiting to be opened." At the time, I thought it was poetic, romantic. I thought, how lucky am I that this brilliant professor has chosen me? I was ready to let him open me up, to become a story in his hands. But now, standing before this door, that thrill has twisted into something darker. The excitement I felt earlier has turned into a knot of dread in my stomach. His breath is hot against my neck, sending a chill down my spine. The back of my neck prickles, but I can't tell if it's the air or him. "I've never shown anyone this before," he whispers, his voice almost too soft to hear. But I hear it, and something shifts in me. Warnings start to echo in my mind. Warnings I've ignored my whole life. Warnings from my mother, from friends, from campus safety flyers. Don't go off with strange men. Don't put yourself in risky situations. 3 freshman girls still missing. I push the thoughts aside. I'm not the scared girl anymore. This year was supposed to be different, wasn't it? I promised myself I wouldn't let fear rule me. Isn't this just another risk? Another adventure? I take a breath, my hand shaking as it reaches for the door handle. Behind me, he chuckles, low, victorious. The sound settles in my bones. It sounds like, "Good girl." The handle turns easily, too easily. The latch clicks. In another life, I push open the door, and behind it is a small, dimly lit room with a round table set for two. Candles flicker softly, casting a warm glow. A violinist plays in the corner. We sit down, a perfectly prepared meal appears. We sip wine, share secrets. Later, we make love surrounded by the scent of old books. We spend years together. We marry, have 2 children, Olive and Iris. And tonight becomes the story we tell, the night we fell in love. In another life, I open the door, and there's a chessboard set up on a small table. We play a few rounds, him winning twice before letting me win once. Our relationship is brief, secret, thrilling, until it fizzles out. I move on, but always remember the professor I once dated. In another life, I let go of the door handle and run. I flee the library, my heart racing, footsteps echoing in my ears. I reach my dorm room, breathless, my pulse thudding in my throat. I tell my roommate everything and wonder if I let my fear control me again. But in this life, I push the door open, and behind it is a small, empty room. No table, no candles, no chessboard, just 4 blank walls closing in. I step inside, my heart pounding. The weight of the moment crashes over me. There are no mirrors here, but I don't need them. I can already see the truth reflected in my own eyes. The truth I ignored. There's a shark in the water, and I've swum too far out. The door clicks shut behind me, and I realize I might never see the color cerulean again.
And that's it for tonight's story. But don't worry, the darkness always has more tales to tell. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next chilling episode. I've got something really special planned for next time. And trust me, you won't want to face it alone. So, stay tuned. And until then, keep your lights on and your doors locked.